Yeah, once again, I have very little things that I need to put across that you really need to understand about goat farming. In actual senses, we have started to realize that goat farming is beneficial and it's a very good project. So this goat project had a lot of issues, of which that was management, feeding, and genetics. But so far, some few people have tried. In terms of genetics, people have really learned, have understood what genetics does. Why do we have to buy goats expensive, as in stocking for breeding? And some other thing, they have started to appreciate that there is a very big difference between a hybrid in terms of growth rate and maturity weight. Then some other thing is all about management. People are really failing to understand what management is. And you find a person having 100 goats and is really using 3 or 4 people and is paying them 200,000. So I just don't understand how that person can really benefit from goat farming. It is really unfair to have a bigger number of workers in a small number of animals. Remember, goat farming is all about numbers, but still genetics is very important. It does not make sense you to have 200 goats of local breeds and you're having 4 people working on them. A goat will take 2 years to fetch at least 150,000 or 2, or they cannot even go for 200, you get. So that means you really need a smaller number of workers to handle a bigger mass of animals, but still you need to have very good genetics. This is what you're supposed to do, or this is what you're supposed to know. When you go for goat farming, you have to understand that we are playing with the science of which goat farmers or animal farmers are selling grass. It's that grass that we need, such that it is converted into muscles by these guys, by the animals. So you people, if you have a bigger number of animals and you have no grass, I don't know what you're going to convert. So that means you're just keeping animals. And remember, if those animals are not feeding well, they are really getting what can sustain them. What makes sense is an animal to get enough of the nutrients so that it can have what it can use as its energy, then the rest can be converted into muscles. So basically, people, you really need to improve on the nutrition. You need to understand the project ending. The project ending is all about the mass. Leave alone right now, we still have a gap of the genetics of the good breeds. We don't have many animals in Uganda and East Africa in general. But for real, the animals that we really have, those are the inferior animals that can convert very little. And what we really need, or what we benefit, is the conversion rate of the animal. So what do you need to know? Think about the management. One person can cater up to 300 goats. And then just fund that person. One person, at least make sure that you give him money that would cater for 2 people. He can put in more other power. The only hardest part of this is catering for kids. So that is just a time. Let's say 1 month. Remember, I told you the only way you can do that is by synchronization, and your animals are producing in the same time. You get it? So if they are producing at the same time, they can be catered for. So that person will be busy for only 2 months in the rest of 6 months. So that will be making more sense. So management, put it in place and make sure you know I'm putting in how many people. I was surprised to find a farmer having over 20 goats and is having over 6 workers. Moreover, is paying a manager at 500,000. Really, can't you really hate that project? Because you will not benefit. And more so on the animals, they are not moving on well. They are not producing. Every year is having, 2 years is having 20 goats. And is paying all the time. Think about that. Do you think you can really continue with that project? You have to curse it. So, my people, let your guys that are working for you be trained. You skill them with the skills. They know the reason why you're doing that project, because they will focus also on the production and the management of the kids, of which that will be very beneficial for you. So, sincerely, leave alone the words that people speak, mania what or what, but what we really need at first, before we even come together to be a group, we really need to have a critical mass. If you could get information